Hey, hey pals. Welcome to Frame and Fiber. My name is Paige. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are enjoying the summer. Today is June 19th. Happy Juneteenth to all y'all out there. Happy almost Father's Day. Happy almost midsummer. Oh my gosh, June is such a cool month. This June so far has actually been cool here in New Jersey. We've really had very low temperatures, which is not necessarily normal for us, but I've been enjoying it. So outside with my chickens, maybe I'll put some video of chickens in here somewhere. Yeah, so how are you? This is Frame and Fiber. Did I say any of that to you? Welcome. Frame and Fiber, which is the name of my YouTube channel and also the name of my picture framing and yarn shop in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. So if you ever find yourself at the Jersey Shore, pop on in and visit. Yeah, so my shop has been closed to shopping for, what is it, 3 months now? Are we on 3 months? 3 months. New Jersey is slowly opening up, but just so you guys know, my shop will be opening up even slower, just because of the unknown. I've decided to lag behind everybody else and just see what happens. So I'm not sure when I will be opening for in-store shopping. Picture framing is still and will always continue as appointment only, or I shouldn't say still, it is still as since all this started, since quarantine started. And going forward, picture framing will be appointments by appointment, so that's good. That's continuing. So I'm super busy with picture framing. Super busy. Big smile about that. I am so beyond thankful to all of you, and so many of you out there in the internet and local have been sending me or bringing me things to frame for you. So I so appreciate that so much. My landlord appreciates that. Jamie, my employee, appreciates that. You guys are great. So thank you very much. And then for yarn shopping, if you are interested in seeing what I have to offer, you can visit me at my Etsy shop, which is Frame and Fiber NJ. And you can find that on Etsy. All of my offerings, 99% of my offerings, I feel like there's a few things that I haven't put in there, but yeah, are listed. In fact, I just got the brand new Taproot magazine this week, so I need to update my Taproot Taproot listing, so that reflects that. Yeah, I've sold a ton of my cocoa knits and my Kohana items, so I will be making a brand new order pretty soon for those. So yeah, that's shop news. That's about it. As far as knitting and crocheting, I sporadically am knitting and crocheting. I don't have anything to show you as far as fiber, just because I haven't made much progress in the past few weeks, because I've been outside with chickens and gardening and all that good stuff. So yeah. But in this episode, or this video episode, which I have no idea what episode it is until I edit and I look up the video before, so that's why I don't say what episode we're on. I think it's 50 something. So I got a lot of questions and comments and direct messages and emails from people regarding the bug-a-sode that I had done. Thank you guys so much for being so engaged with that video, and I'm glad it was a help to you. I hope it didn't freak anyone out. It was not meant to freak anyone out. It wasn't meant for, you know, it was meant to explain to you that yes, there will be bugs, because there are always bugs, and it's not a big deal. It's doable. I guess that's what I mean. So I wanted to answer some of your questions and kind of go through some of the things that were not clear to you guys. So I have notes. I'm going to first start with a question from Ruth at Sunrise Hill Farms and Crafts here on YouTube. And she commented and asked about the humidity levels. What a good humidity level is for storing your stash. If you have climate controlled home, you're good to go because it naturally keeps the humidity levels about 50 to 40%, which is great. For storing fiber, and that includes all of the stuff that we use for knitting, crocheting, weaving, and spinning, but it also includes, for me, fiber, wood fiber. So all of my wood, so if you guys have wood at home, if you have picture frames that you're storing away, any type of fabrics. So the best level, and this is a general level because it might change a little bit here and there, but generally 40% is great. So that's on the dry side. Drier is better. Moisture attracts the bugaloos. That's how they survive. And the fluctuation in temperatures and humidity, which can be extreme in basements and attics, are really bad too. So at anything you have that's precious to you, if it's in your attic, I would definitely say store it in a closet someplace, like in a bin under a bed. I tell people all the time for their artwork to store them under a bed, behind a bookshelf, someplace where it can be climate controlled. You know, there's plenty of things that you have to store in your attic, but if it's precious, don't put it there. And the same with your basement. You know, if you're going to use your basement to store things, you might want to look into a dehumidifier. I store a lot of things in my basement, and I have 2 dehumidifiers just to keep it dry. At the shop, I do all of my woodworking in the basement, and so a lot of my wood, not a lot, all of my wood is stored in the basement, so I really need to keep it dry. I actually keep the basement between 35 and 40%, so it's really dry down there. Not too dry, but dry. I don't want it to get too dry or too wet or extreme changes because the wood would warp, and that's bad because it means it's going to take me a lot longer to be able to build a frame. So I hope that explains a bit more about the humidity levels. The next question I was going to address was from Sharon Keene. Thanks, Sharon. She asked about lavender and alternatives to traps and chemicals. Either way, you know, I use the traps just because of my huge investment in picture frames and yarn as a yarn shop owner, so I do traps. They work great. But if you do want to do alternative care, lavender and different herbs and essential oils. So sachets, they're lovely, and you can put the herbs in them and it's great. And they do help. They need to be fresh though, so the sachets need to be changed often. As soon as they get old, they're not doing any work. They also don't work if they're just laying on top of something. They need to be in an enclosed space, because the environment in that space, so like a plastic bag or a project bag, it needs to be a tiny space so that the fumes from, the fumes from the plant matter will really fill that space. So it wouldn't help if you just threw it on the counter here. The same thing goes with cedar. Cedar is great, it smells so good, but it's high maintenance. It needs to be sanded every time. Once it gets old, which you can't tell by sniffing it because it always smells like cedar, but it needs to be, you need to sand it. So even if it's a small piece of cedar and you take an emery board, you need to release the oils, and then again, it needs to be in an enclosed space. So changing them often, and when I say often, I mean like monthly. I know that sounds like, are you sure that often? But yeah, I'm pretty sure. They do. The downside to, so that's like kind of a con, but not necessarily, it's a pro. A con to the cedar's great. The only con to cedar to me is the sanding. The plant-based little herbs and that kind of stuff, the sachets. If you forget about the sachets and they're in a project bag that you haven't touched for months or a year or years, unfortunately, once they start to decompose or they don't smell like their fragrance anymore, they're going to actually attract bugs. So you can't forget about them. That's the downside and the con to the herbs. You cannot forget about them. They cannot lay around for months on end because they will attract bugaloos. They smell good, so that's a good thing. So you can also use sachets that are filled with cotton or wool or whatever, and then continue to use essential oils. So you can buy oils and spritz them or put a few drops on it. That would work too, kind of like the herbs. That might last a little bit longer and be a little bit cleaner because it's not as dusty as the breaking down plant matter is. So that's kind of cool. The downside to those is it's oils. So eventually the fabric is going to be so saturated with the oils that that too could attract. So once they get old, that is. So just keep in mind when you're using the natural alternatives that they do need to be replaced and monitored. So they do smell yummy though. I love lavender. My friend Sharon makes this sachet with different herbs. I don't know if she uses herbs or essential oils, but it's her own special mix and it is my most favorite smell, and I definitely keep that in my project bags because it's also really lovely to zip open a bag and have that lovely smell come out. So all of my knitting smells so good. So thanks, Seashore Sharon. I wonder if she'll share that with us. Maybe I'll send her a note. Okay, on to the next question. So Luann, hi Luann, she was asking about the little orange and black striped tiny little bugs that you can see in your house around the pantry, mostly in the kitchen. In the springtime, you might see them like fluttering towards a window. They will be in dark places. Springtime, they fly towards the light when they're like ready to like move on and find a new home, have new babies. But you will find them in dark places. So those orange and striped little tiny bugs, which aren't gross, and like I don't think they're gross. I actually think they're kind of cute. They look like, they're kind of shaped like a mini tiny little ladybug. Maybe more like a sesame seed. The size of a sesame seed for sure. But anyway, they're really small. They're really, in my opinion, cute. Those are the carpet beetles. Those are the ones that will eat pretty much anything in your house. Hi pals, I'm inserting here. I'm in the middle of editing. Am I yammering on and on about carpet beetles? I realize that I'm talking to you about the adult beetle, which you will see, but he's not the one that actually does the damage. It's the babies. So, not that you want the beetle in the house, but it's the larva that does the damage. So, the larva looks like this. That you will find actually in stash or food, okay? So I just wanted to clarify because I feel like talking about the adult is fine, except that really they don't do the damage. They make the babies that do the damage. I know it's all the same, whatever, it all works, but okay, like my pajamas. Bye. They start in your pantry and then they move toward your stash. We had them at the museum. They're super small. They are, you definitely want to control them. They're not as damaging as moths because they work on a smaller scale. They don't have as many babies. They don't fly as far as moths. And once a carpet beetle baby is turned into a larva, an egg turns into a larva, it really doesn't travel far. So if it's in a skein of yarn, it's not going to suddenly say, hey, the grass is greener over there, and go to the other skein. So they don't travel as much as the moths. That said, they do travel. They're just not as invasive as moths, but they're harder to see and easier to live with than moths, and so I feel like they actually do more damage because of that. They're everywhere. They're in the basement at the shop. I mean, you can't escape them. So what you can do is trap them. And the Pantry Traps that I linked in the last episode, or the Bug-isode episode, I'll also link here. You can buy them. They're not expensive, and you can just put them, one in your pantry and one in your closet. I think they come in a pack of 6, and that's enough for you for 2 traps at a time for an entire year. So you should be good if you do that. And when you see the little bugs, just pick them off or throw them away. Yeah, don't be afraid of the carpet beetles. Just know that you need to be in charge of the carpet beetles. All right, so Luann, if that answered your question, I hope it did. If not, contact me again. Okay, and then Julie Tuttle contacted me, not on Instagram maybe? An email. Several of these questions are duplicates, and I really feel bad because I only wrote down one name for each, but I know a couple people asked me this question. So when you find damaged yarn, should you throw it away? Use your discretion. You know, if there's like so much damage that it's like more of a hassle to repair those little ends, I would toss it because I don't have patience. But if it's like 100% cashmere and it costs you like 60 bucks, like, I get it. Like, you don't want to throw that away. So there's a few things you can do. Here I am again. So I jumped right into what I wanted to talk about, and I forgot to mention the first thing to do, the easiest, which is just wash the yarn. Soapy water, like you would normally do if you were going to block something. Or if you had just spun it and you gave it a bath, just do that if it's not major. Then proceed to the next things I'm talking about. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you don't have to see my face again. Most of the bugs that we are talking about and worried about cannot take really extreme high temperatures or really extreme low temperatures. So you can do a couple things. I know people have said they microwave, but I don't, there's nothing that I have learned through some of the research that I've done that's a tried and true method. But you could put it in your oven, which is weird, right? Because that's where you cook food, so. But you could put it in your oven on low. I think it's 145 degrees and up for a half an hour. Bugs can't survive. It's 145. It might be 150. It changes per bug, so I'd say 150 is a good number. So you can do that. I actually have at the shop, which is so cool, Paul Miller, being the electronic gadget / handy guru that he is, he built me what we call the yarn oven. Well, we call it the yarn oven now. We called it the oven originally, but anytime something comes into the shop, like I get donated yarn, people donate yarn to then go to different organizations, and it's coming into my shop. It's sometimes been sitting in someone's house for a long time. I have no idea what's in that yarn, and I don't necessarily want to bring it into my shop. So that goes into the yarn oven. Sometimes when I am reframing cross stitch, crewel, needlepoint, anything fibery. That said, there have been a few times where I've had to do watercolor too, but they go into this oven. So Miller built it. It's the coolest thing. It looks like a really big, well, not really big. It looks like a clothes dryer with a door, and then there's shelves, and you just lay whatever it is. And he has this, it's a convection. It like circulates the air, and it goes up to 160 degrees, and it has a timer, and Paul Miller designed it, and he's the coolest. So I have that just because, again, someone will bring in a beautiful piece of art that their great grandmother stitched, and I can see through the glass that it has been damaged by carpet beetles mostly, or maybe a moth or two. And so there could be something alive in there. And so that goes directly into my oven for half an hour. Although actually it's not a half an hour. I'm so paranoid sometimes in my shop that I do 45 minutes. It's not gonna hurt it. So yeah, so that happens, anything like that. So you could do that in your oven, you know, if you see a skein and you're like, holy crap, like it's been eaten. And usually what you'll see, moths are a little bit different. Carpet beetles will eat through. So it's almost like if you have a bulky skein of yarn, the carpet beetle could just put a hole through it if it's positioned correctly, because it's smaller than the diameter of the yarn. So they'll eat a strand or two at a time, and it'll like burrow through, and so there'll just be several pieces that are broken. So that definitely can go in the oven. Moths, sometimes they will lay their eggs in there, and like depending on what type of a moth, you'll see the remnants. That's kind of gross. So yeah, if you don't want to put it in your oven, you can also do the freezer. The freezer, however, you need to have, it's not your freezer upstairs in your house. You need to have a deep freezer, like crazy cold. I forget what the freezer's like regular fridge freezer combo goes to, but I feel like it's more like the chest freezers in your basements. Deep freeze, is that what, my words aren't working, but it needs to be extreme cold. And that needs to sit in there for like a week, maybe two, because our fibers really need to, the cold really needs to freeze the yarn as well. And you know, it insulates, so it takes a little while. So for me, and this is my opinion, this is not fact, you need it in there for a week or two. I prefer the heat method because I just feel like there's no questions with it, but yeah. So you don't have to throw them away. So you can save, that's how you can save your yarn. In the bin or the bag or whatever it was it contained in, if it can be laundered, great, wash it. So if it was like a project bag or a tote bag, if it was plastic, you want to clean that out really good with warm soapy water, just to make sure that you kill anything and there's no lasting, you know, things in there. And then you can reuse that. I think that's, I mean, and then if it wasn't compartmentalized in a tiny little container, and it was just in a closet, and you have a whole closet of open yarn, I would definitely say don't go nuts trying to like look through every skein for bugs. I say that, but of course, like I would probably go through every skein because I'm neurotic. But you don't have to. Just take it all, put it in a plastic bag. So if there is anything in there, it's contained in the plastic bag. And then at your convenience, so you don't have to make this like a huge, like, well, it's a huge project no matter what, but you can space it over time so it doesn't feel enormous. Just put them in the oven, cook all your yarn, bake that shit. Sorry, I had to cuss once. Yeah, so bake that, and then when it's finished, put it into a clean container with desiccant packets to keep them dry. Yeah, that's what I would do. And then the other thing, that closet that it's in, you're gonna wanna wipe down the walls. If you have hardwood, I know this is all crazy, but if you have hardwood, you're gonna want to take water, like warm soapy water, Murphy's oil would be great, or any alternative if you don't use any of that stuff, and get the water, like you don't wanna saturate your hardwood floor because it'll ruin it, but you wanna make sure that the water and the soap can really get in between the cracks and scrub that, and scrub the walls. Good times, right? So that's what I would do if I had a problem. Yeah. Let me know if that answers questions. I wanted to follow up to all of your questions from the first episode in this episode. So I won't do it again. If you guys have any questions, I'll just answer in the down bar. But yeah, leave any comments, questions, concerns, additions. So that's that. Bugs. Oh, that's it. I have, oh, no, it's not. I have to announce the winner of my giveaway for the Forest Path Make-Along. Oh my gosh, I do have knitting to show you. I have to show you my shawl. Did I, no wait, did I show it to you? I did. I showed it to you in the last episode, right? This is why I should take notes for every single episode and then look at them. Forest Path, oh, finished object. Yep, I finished it. See, I did take notes last time. Oh my gosh. Anyway, the winner of the prize. Wait. I don't know where I put it, guys. Oh, here it is. Never mind, I found it. Okay. I think I said this last time too, that my donation, no, it's not a donation, it's a prize. How do you say this? Prize. Come back to my face. Come back to my face. Come back to my face. There we go. Okay. All right, so the prize is this little guy. There it is. It's not this, because this is mine, and it's not this, wow, you really don't want, oh, is it because of the way I'm holding it? That might be. Holy mackerel. Okay, so there we go. So this guy right here is a sample, so you guys can see what your stitch markers will look like. This is an older set that's Patricia P410 on Instagram, and the maker and designer behind the Forest Path shawl. Yes, shawl. I can't talk today. So yeah, she makes these, and she has a set that she made for the Forest Path collection of shawls, and that is going to be your gift. So Mountain Stitches, MTN, I'm assuming MTN is Mountain. I don't know if she watches this YouTube channel, but I will send her an Instagram message. Yeah, Mountain Stitches. mtn.stitches on Instagram. She is the winner, and I will send her address to Patricia, and Patricia will mail her a set of the Forest Path stitch markers. So congratulations, Miss Mountain Stitches. I don't think I know your first name. I do not. I'm sorry, but that's okay, because all you need is to know that you won. That's it. So yes, the Forest Path was fun to make, fun to do. Patricia has, I think, 2 or 3 other patterns in that collection of shawls. And there's one in particular that I think I want to cast on. They're so pretty, all of them. There's not enough time in the day to do all of the things I want to do. Yeah, so congratulations to all of the winners. There were a lot of winners for the make-along, or the knit-along. It was really fun. I have no other make-alongs going right now, which I probably should, because I have plenty of time to host one, but, well, we'll see. Are you guys involved in any knit-alongs, make-alongs, sew-alongs, stitch-alongs? I want to hear about it. Let me know. All right, so I think we'll leave you here. I will see you next time. I have a video coming out with, what's the next video? The video before was a picture framing video with Sue of Legacy Fiber Arts. We did a cross stitch. I framed a cross stitch for her. Came out great. Oh my gosh, who's next? It's not a cross stitch. Oh, it's Gay Glaspie. She's next. I just finished framing, so my next video will be another picture frame with my friend Gay, and you will see her incredible piece of art that someone so kindly made for her. So yeah. All right, so I will see you next time. I'm headed off to work right now, so editing this will be in a day or two, which means I don't know if I'm putting chickens in. So maybe there's chickens, maybe there's not. Either way, I'll see you next time. Bye guys. Hey, Bluebird. You girls want some treats? Huh? You want some treats? Come on, let's grab some treats. Who wants treats? Sorry, my neighborhood's really loud. Buffy! She pecked my dress. Buffett. Don't peck dresses. You guys want some treats? Okay. No pecking my feet. No pecking my dress. No pecking at my scabs. No Buffett. Buffy is the worst. She pecks my scabs. All right, hold on. Let's see. Okay. Ready? You guys ate them that fast? That's pretty fast, guys. Want a little bit more? Okay, one more. Ow! Not my feet! Dang it. Rocket! That was not nice. Ow! She just flew up. Amo, you're always late to the party. And look, Blue, she's over there. She's like, whatever. Rocket. Did you guys see that? She flew up and bunked the little thing. She's unbelievably fresh. Rocket and Buffett. Rock and Buffy. Hold on, let me put these away. Rock and Buffy are punks. Yes, they love to be with me and they always want me around them, but the con to that is that they take such advantage and they think they can like bully me. So I have a cut on my leg. From what? I don't know. I'm always cutting myself. Always. Loser Buffy likes to peck at my scabs. So I have to wear pants when I feed them in the morning. Chickens are jerks, man. They're pretty cute though. Chickens. Come on. Come here. Come on, Rocket. Nope, nobody's coming. 6 chickens. So this is their little yard. That is a pretty easy to move fence that Paul Miller got. They just kind of poke into the ground, kind of like spikes, and then there's like tent spikes that go with it. This is the beautiful coop. No, I did not paint it yet. I know I need to paint it, but I have not painted it yet. But they love it. I do have to clean the ramp because they like to, you know, number 2 all over it. So we have all of this space. And then these fences, so this fence, we move this once a week. So the coop gets moved from this space inside this, wait, how can I explain this? This space, the fence, we move once a week. So this week it's here, next week it'll probably be over in that part of the yard. And then within the fence, the coop moves, I think we move it 3 times in the week. So maybe like every other week, every other day, every 3 days. Yeah, probably 3, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So that way it doesn't get too messy in one spot. So that's our system right now. These losers seem to be enjoying it. Also, let's see if you can see over here. Can you see that loser? Bubba! I don't know what he's into. So, I will now officially answer to Paige the Farmer. Alright, that's it for chickens. I'll see you guys next time.